Yo, what's up everybody? Scotty here. Welcome to a new top 10 for Pillars of Eternity. I'm going to be doing this specific episode. We're going to do the top 10 bosses and just count down from the easiest boss to the hardest boss. Now keep in mind, you may agree with this and you may not. So if you do, either way, let me know. Appreciate it. Start with number 10 is the Sculptor King, found on Temple of Theos level 2. The difficult part about this boss is it's going to be very early on in the game and you're not going to have the skills and talents that you need to be able to take him down quickly. Next is the Drake, found on the endless levels of Odin level 5. This boss really isn't that tough, mainly for the fact that he can be exploited through the doorway. The only reason why he's tough is, again, it's going to be early on in the game and there's lots of adds with this boss. At number 8 is Kel the Silent, found in a cave within Searing Falls. This is a big Drake to fight with plenty of adds around him. Be careful with damage that comes out. Make sure you have a tank to absorb it. At number 7 is Zola, found on the endless levels of Odin level 3. This boss is difficult because of the ogre druids that are with him. These adds can put out lots of raw damage, making the fight very difficult. At number 6 is the Spirit of Odin, found on level 14 of the endless levels of Odin. What makes this fight difficult is the Spirit itself has strong attacks and really high defense. In addition, the adds have spirit abilities, usually affecting the character's resistances. At number 5 is Lord Ragic, the first time you encounter him. This boss is difficult because there are several adds in here, mostly because there's other tanks. Not to mention, Lord Ragic himself is also a tank, wielding a pretty nasty two-handed sword that has pretty high damage out. At number 4 is the Sky Dragon. Dragons fight differently than drakes do because of their wing blast attack. Not to mention the damage output the dragons have. You have to constantly heal your tanks, and if they get a hold of your damage or your healer, then they're going to take them out very quickly. Now we're at the top 3 bosses, which are the toughest bosses in the game. Starting at number 3 is Lord Ragic the second time you fight him. What makes this fight difficult is the mind-controlling adds that are with Ragic. They not only have high damage output, but they also cast these mind-controlling spells very often. While all this is happening, Lord Ragic, who is also much more powerful than he was before, now this is the point where you're probably going to disagree with, and there's a pretty good reason why, but I can tell you why I'm putting this at number 2. The Adra Dragon, yes, the Adra Dragon, one of the most feared bosses in the entire game. As a matter of fact, you have to go through 15 levels just to get to it. But why is this boss so hard? It attacks just like a dragon, similar to the Sky Dragon, but its wing blast is an annihilation. It can wipe out your entire party in almost one hit, and its radius takes up almost the entire screen. But why is this number 2, you say? Well, if you check out my video here, you'll see why. Because you can actually solo this on the hardest difficulty. And now we're down to number 1. The hardest boss in the entire game is Theos, the final boss of the main quest. Yes, he is the hardest boss because he's practically immune to everything. Not to forget the 2 Titan adds that are with him that have extremely high damage. Now this boss comes in 2 phases. The first phase, which isn't so bad, but as soon as you take down one of the adds, he goes into his second phase where he casts extremely powerful spells. And if you haven't taken down the other add by this time, you're still having to deal with it at the same time. This boss takes complex strategy, precise spell casting, and also certain spells to cast just to get you through it. Do you agree or disagree with this top 10? What was your hardest boss? Post in the comments below.